All right, this is the news. The president is warning Mexico tonight. You will have a 5% tariff per month on all goods entering the United States unless you start getting after illegal immigration to the White House's satisfaction. Okay? And remember, he vows a number hike equal to the initial 5% each month. This is heavy stuff, a dramatic escalation. Question is, what's the sell? Why is this good for us and not bad for us as consumers? We have his new 2020 senior campaign advisor here tonight, Kimberly Guilfoyle. Good to have you.
Great to be here.
Congratulations on the new gig. No
Thank
pressure,
you.
no pressure.
Yeah.
All right, so help me understand this, because what's the concern with tariffs? We know this, that they get passed on, the importer to the consumer, so you wind up hitting us to punish them. What's the sell?
Well, so when you think about it, the president campaigned very heavily on this in terms of the immigration crisis, and people have generally agreed this is an intractable problem, but it really has reached a crisis point. You even have New York Times saying that we have a crisis at the southern border. And why wouldn't Mexico, as one of our economic partners, bear some of the responsibility, have some skin in the game? Why is it always that the United States is disproportionately affected with other people not doing their fair share? This is in sound keeping with the president's policy of being tough on immigration, border security, really securing it so we don't have these porous borders where people are coming over. There's human trafficking. There's drugs coming in, leading to a drug epidemic, crime. And having worked as a prosecutor for many years in San Francisco, which was a sanctuary city, and in Los Angeles, I saw all too well the real problem of people coming in, criminal recidivists, with records, multiple times deported and coming back in and committing crimes like we saw with Kate Steinle in San Francisco.
No question it's real. We both know that if you're worried about criminality, the place to start isn't with illegal entrants. But there's no question there are criminals among them and recidivists. I don't think it's the heart of the problem, but that takes us to what the solution is. Same way. We still wind up in the same place. I get going after Mexico. We both know they're the weaker partner, right? They don't have the capabilities that the United States do, but a lot of people come through their way. Yesterday was one of the biggest roundups of people they've had.
Over 1,000 people taken in.
Has to change. Kids are going to be in bad trouble. We've had 6 pass. Who knows what's going to happen?
Well, absolutely.
But
you have young children, like young girls, 10 to 13 years of age, are automatically checked for rape or pregnancy because of what's happening.
If they
it's not okay to allow people to come over and
if they can be, but they're understaffed.
It.
They're begging Congress. They're begging the White House for help down there, DHS, CBP. They're not getting the help that they want. Big problem. I don't get this solution because what happens now? You put the tariffs. Mexico says fine, but I pay them. Right? Because I'm the consumer. And now you've got the trade deal with Mexico. What if they push back? What if it, if it threatens the trade deal? Why is this the solution?
Well, great point. Because why are the Democrats stonewalling and not allowing this to come to a vote? This is the problem, what we're seeing. The president repeatedly, over and over again, it says, partner with me. Let's work on this problem, this crisis of immigration at the southern border. We can all agree that there's a situation that needs to be addressed. The president has tried and tried again, but now he needs to do something different. And this is very consistent with what he said he was going to do. Mexico, you're going to have to do your fair share. We're no longer going to have the American taxpayer who works very hard for their paycheck every day shoulder the burden of your gross irresponsibility at the border, allowing these people to come over.
Why not go to the triangle?
To
Why not go to the triangle and say, let me help you people. Let me help you with the conditions that are making your people come to us, because I don't believe they're legit asylum claims. I think they're economic claims. Let me help you. He said he wanted to pull aid. Won't that only make it worse?
No, I don't think so, because it's a problem. You have the United States over and over again doing the same thing, which is the definition of insanity if you expect a different result. We keep rewarding people who aren't working honestly as our partners in the United States, saying, okay, this country has a problem. They're coming over. They're not doing anything. Chris, it's only getting worse to secure the border, to prevent people coming in from South American countries.
We don't give them that much either, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, but nevertheless, they're still getting help from us. And I don't think it's unreasonable. And the American people want the president to honor his promises about border security, which relates directly to national security. He would not be doing his job if he didn't get tough with it. And let's see if they understand, because this is not a man who says he's going to do something and not do it. He will fulfill this promise. It's going to be 5%. It's going to have an escalator if they don't take it seriously. I think he's going to get their attention, just like he has with China. Tariffs work if you have patience at the plate.
Well, we'll see, because they get passed off onto the consumer. That's the problem. You see what's happening with the farmers. But look, time will tell.
There'll
He
be an
will be
adjustment
measured
in the
in the
system.
election.
There'll
Did
be
he
an
keep
adjustment in the system. It's a little bit of tough love. There may be some growing pains with this, but it really has reached a crisis point where he has to act, and that's what he's doing.
It is a crisis he's imposing with the tariffs. But again, as you said, time will tell, and he'll be measured in the election.
No, the crisis is because of illegal immigration coming over Mexico, not
That's with the
helping
border.
to
I'm
secure
talking
the
about with
borders.
China. You
right,
put
and
two things together.
Because guess what? Tariffs work, and he's employing a similar idea and proposal that he has with China. And
We haven't seen if they
work.
work. We haven't seen the deal happen in China. But again, third time. Time will tell. He'll be tested in the election. The impeachment situation. Let me ask something for the position of the campaign.
Sure.
Does the campaign accept the proposition that Russia interfered in the 2016 election and we must stop them from doing it in 2020?
Well, there was some indication that there was Facebook attempts, et cetera, to interfere with the election, right? But again, what did we find? Specifically, that there was so much money spent, millions and millions of dollars, 2 years on an investigation that yielded no result, despite the bias that was inherent in it.
Well, there was a result. There was Russian interference
Mm-hmm.
happened. It was pernicious as it was widespread. It is continued.
When you say it was pernicious and widespread, there's been no finding of determination that it had an impact whatsoever on the United States election. Should that type of thing be taken seriously if it's happening and investigated?
What do you mean if it's
Sure.
happening? Do you think it happened or you don't think it happened?
Well, I'm reading the reports on it that they say there was attempts with Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. Do I think it was like widespread or pernicious? No, I do not. Do I think that it had an impact on the 2016 election? No. Do I think that the Democrats wish that it did so they can have another excuse to say why President Trump is in the Oval Office?
I see.
So
I
there's
think
no
that's-
obstruction, no collusion, and now they're saying there's going to be a cover-up.
I get the talking point, but you know none of that is true.
No, I do know
there
that.
was collusion. There was no criminal conspiracy. Thank God. The president is not a traitor. He wasn't a foreign agent. There's no proof of any of that. Thank God.
But they wasted the taxpayers' money.
Well, no, but there
So
was
they owe the
collusion. People on that
taxpayers
campaign did dumb
an apology
things
for
that they
wasting
knew
their
they
money.
shouldn't have done, and they lied about it.
Where was there any finding that there was any kind of insufficient evidence, no evidence whatsoever
Manafort
of
giving the
obstruction
polling
or
data
collusion?
to a guy with connection to Russian intel? Stupid move. Taking that meeting in Trump Tower? Stupid move.
Okay, where is
Lying
the
about
evidence of
message
any
to it?
kind of obstruction or collusion
Oh,
whatsoever?
no, well, that
And by the
is
way,
collusion.
If,
It's not a crime, but it is collusion.
If Robert Mueller, by the way, who overstepped his bounds by being going forward and making that statement, had found any evidence, and the prosecutor's job, as you know, I'm a former prosecutor, is to determine if there is sufficient evidence that a crime has been committed and that that individual is guilty of that crime.
Prosecutor or not, that's his job.
And he found no evidence to support that. And in fact,
He
William
found a lot of
Barr-
evidence to support
William
it, but he said he
Barr
couldn't prosecute.
went a step further and released the whole report, even when Mueller was saying just release certain portions of it. So there has been transparency. They have put up with all kinds of witch hunts and investigation here. They didn't like the outcome of the 2016
Why witch hunt
election.
when the interference
they
was
know
real?
that the strong economy can result, as you know, you come from a family of politics, strong economy, incumbents get reelected. They
Very
don't
strong.
want to see the president remain in the Oval Office.
Who's
and
they?
The Democrats and many people in the
Mueller's
mainstream
not a
media.
Democrat.
Well, I don't know what he registered
Rosenstein
as, but I do
wasn't a
know what he
Democrat.
did in
Sessions wasn't a Democrat.
I do know what he did in overstepping his bounds. And let me tell you something. Remember in the Kenneth Starr report, and he did the investigation on Bill Clinton, 11 times he used the word guilty, right? Did you hear Robert Mueller ever use those words?
No, he never got the
as
president in the chair. How is he going to get him on obstruction when, one, he's got guidance not to indict a sitting president, and two, the one guy at the center of it wouldn't give him any answers?
No, 2,300 subpoenas.
The president didn't give him a
40
single answer on
FBI
obstruction.
agents. This was an investigation that went on and on.
the president
They wanted
never
a
gave them anything on
predetermined
obstruction.
outcome. They didn't get it. He didn't give him anything on obstruction
Mueller
because
is a
he didn't
lifelong
commit
Republican.
obstruction.
He can't be part of an anti-Trump situation.
Well,
He's a lifelong
I don't know if
Republican.
he's part of an anti-Trump situation or not, but I do know as a prosecutor that he overstepped his bounds.
You're
with
trying
what
to
he
find
said
out something
yesterday
happened with
to try
obstruction.
to appease the Democrats who were upset because they were hoping that he was going to be, Santa
Why
Claus
would he
for
want to
them
appease the
to
Democrats?
put the president out of
Come
office.
on, he's an independent broker. He always has been. Everybody respected
Has he
him
really?
as a
Because,
choice.
in fact, he overstepped his bounds when he made those statements.
I think he did it, though, in your favor, because he's supposed to say, prosecutor declined, but he can't because his hands are tied. So he wants to explain what he does, and he says, I can't do this. I'm not even going to say if I found criminal activity because I don't want to be unfair to the president because he won't have his day in court. But I can't say he didn't do anything wrong.
Okay,
I can't exonerate. I thought he bent over backwards to be fair.
William Barr okay, said specifically that Mueller could have reached a conclusion
Right.
and not violated DOJ policy to not, quote, make charges
saw
or indict
Mueller's
a
reasoning.
sitting president. If he had the evidence to support it, you would have read it in the report. It wasn't
He does.
there.
He has 5 different counts of obstruction that have significant proof with them.
Nothing against the president. There is no final conclusion that the president
There is no
obstructed
conclusion because he
justice
said he couldn't
or
draw one and he
colluded
left it to Congress. And
in
now
the
we're going to see what they do with
Well,
it.
guess what? And additionally, as William Barr said, that the DOJ and the investigations that they do not serve as an adjunct to Congress.
True.
They just want a different outcome. So now they're saying they're
But
going
who's
to
the
continue
they?
to do this.
Because Mueller can't
The
be part of the they.
Democrats and the cast of characters running, trying to unseat President Trump. This is what they're raising money on: impeachment,
So are you.
impeachment. I'm not raising money on
The
impeachment.
campaign put out this thing saying they want to impeach your president and give us money.
Well, guess what? The people that support the president of the United States believe in him, and they've seen that, in fact, despite this president being completely cooperative,
He didn't
putting
sit for an
everything
interview.
out there,
He didn't answer a single question on obstruction.
the president was totally transparent and cooperated with this investigation.
Except he didn't sit for an interview and didn't answer a single question about obstruction.
Justice. There is no evidence of it.
I know,
There is
but
no
he didn't
evidence
give them
of it.
any because he didn't talk to them.
There is no evidence of the obstruction.
There
is
are
no
5.
evidence
There's a
of
lot
the
of evidence of it. They didn't get any directly from
Where
him.
for the president? But now they say that he's engaged in a cover-up of what? Of innocence? I mean, come on. It's absolutely ridiculous.
His efforts to control during that proceeding was what they were looking at. But now it'll come to Congress, and I make you this promise.
Go ahead.
This must end. It has to. It has to
Well,
find
it
its
should
end.
have ended already. We've already got
Well,
the report
Mr.
and
Mueller
the
says he's
conclusion.
done. We'll figure out what Congress is going to do. Other issues are going to come up now that are going to matter.
I'll
It's going
tell
to
you
be the
what's coming
border.
up
It's going to
now.
be the economy. It's going
Right.
to be trade. The campaign has a place on this show. You are welcome to come on and
Well, I
argue the
appreciate
positions
that.
of the campaign whenever you want.
Well, it's our position that, in fact, that they don't want to focus on the results and the economic boom, record low unemployment
You will have
across
a
the
place
board.
here.
So they want to talk about crimes that never happened, and then now they want to pivot to cover up.
I don't see that situation as you do, and that's okay. Because we will always disagree on this show decently, and you always have a place to make your case.
Oh, you're being so nice.
No, just fair. We have no